Hi class, I just wanted to make this video to do a brief review of our syllabus. I'm going to cover just some of the basic stuff and then go over week one, and I'll make different videos for each of the different weeks. So I'll let you look over this introductory stuff by yourself, just briefly read over it. But let's take a look at the course outcomes before we get into some more of the details. So there are 7 course outcomes that we're looking for. So by the end of this course, you should be able to do these 7 things. First, we hope that you can summarize the main features of the cultural background of the Bible. I've made a video about the historical background, cultural background issues of the Bible that I hope that you watch. Through your readings, you're also going to get introduced to the different cultural background issues of the Bible. The Bible was written over several thousand years in many different cultures, so the cultural background issues of the Bible are very diverse and require quite a bit of reading and research, but it's actually very important for our understanding of the Bible to know where it was written, who was writing it, and the sort of people that were reading it back in the ancient world. Second, we want you to be able to contrast conservative versus critical views of the Bible. In this course, we're not going to be presenting one specific view of the Bible. We're going to be looking at many different views, critical, conservative, and things in between. So we'll be looking at people that think the Bible is inspired by God, that it is the Word of God, they believe in God and heaven, they're Christians, the whole thing. These are generally conservative scholars and present a conservative view of the Bible and its teachings. We'll also look at critical scholars who may not even believe in God, may not believe that the Bible is inspired by God, but they do research on the Bible because they enjoy its literature, and they present some very useful research, and we'll be looking at it in this class as well. The third thing that we hope you're able to do by the end of the course is describe the process of the formation and canonization of the Bible. This deals with how the Bible came to be what it is. Like I said, the Bible was written over several thousand years. It was not written in the version that we have it today originally. Many books of the Bible, if not most books of the Bible, went through many different editions. We have several of those editions in our libraries. And it's just really important that we're able to discuss and describe the process of how the Bible came to be, where it came from, and how it developed over time. Fourth, we want you to be able to determine the key themes of the main sections of the Bible. The Bible can be broken up into 6 or 7 main different sections, and these sections generally are grouped together by themes. So by the end of this course, we hope that you're able to identify the main sections and determine the key themes of those sections. Next, by the end of the course, we hope that you're able to identify the main idea of each book of the Bible. This is a pretty lofty goal. There are 66 books in the Protestant Bible, and not all of them are easy to distinguish from other books of the Bible. But generally speaking, we hope that you're able to look at the really prominent books within the biblical canon and identify the main themes of those books. For course outcome number 6, we want you to be able to identify the different elements of the main literary types in the Bible. This is a Bible as literature class, so we're going to be looking at the different genres or types of literature within the Bible, and we're going to be learning skills to analyze these different types. So one of your tasks is to be able to identify which genre you're working with and to be able to use the tools that you have to break down and analyze these different pieces of literature. And that ties in with course outcome number 7, analyze the various literary genres within the main sections of the Bible. So we're going to cover narratives, poetry, gospels, epistles, letters, and visionary literature. All 5 types of these genres have very distinct features that we're going to learn how to analyze in this class. Your required textbooks are 2, so you got the Stephen Carver textbook. It's kind of a small orange book. An Introduction to the Literature of the Bible is the 2nd edition. If somehow you got a hold of the 1st edition, you're going to need to get the 2nd one. It's quite different. This book was written specifically for this course. by Carver, who is a professor at Warner Pacific College. So it's a good read, it's very straightforward, and it works very nicely for this course. Your second textbook is a Bible, the New Oxford Annotated Bible. I made a brief video kind of introducing this textbook, how to work your way through it, how to cite it in your papers, and so forth. It's a really good Bible, very useful for an academic course in biblical literature. A couple of notes on discussion requirements. As with all online courses, or most online courses at Warner, your first initial post is due by Wednesday, by the end of the day. So that's the third day of the week because our online courses begin Mondays. So post a substantive initial response of at least 250 words to each discussion question thread. For a course, there are 2 discussion questions for each week. So that means by Wednesday, you will have posted at least twice, once for each discussion. This needs to be a substantive post that gets the conversation going, that asks deep questions, that maybe references or textbooks or some outside resources that you found interesting, and should be at least 250 words. By Sunday, at the end of the day, this is the end of the week in our online courses, you need to post at least 3 substantive follow-up responses to your instructor or classmates. So that's 3 for the 2 discussion questions. So maybe 1 for one of them and 2 for the other one. But in this course, what we're going to be doing is dividing the class up into groups. So for many classes, it'll be 3 groups or maybe 4 groups. You'll be assigned a group, and this is like a small group discussion. So the 3 or 4 or 5 students that are in each group will be talking with one another. So by Wednesday, everybody in that group should have posted at least once. But let's imagine that you're not the first person to post. Maybe you haven't been able to post until Wednesday. Maybe everybody else in your group has posted. What I want you to do is not answer the questions directly. What I want you to do is answer the questions while responding to everybody else in your group. If somebody has already said something, don't repeat what they said. Add to the conversation. And then by Sunday, you're going to be reading everybody's initial posts and their follow-up post and adding to the conversation. So imagine this as if you were all sitting together in a classroom discussing these questions. That's what I want our discussion questions to be. It's not just going to be everybody posting their own answers to the questions with responses to each other. It's going to be small groups dialoguing about these issues. This is really helpful for a number of reasons. One, when we study the Bible as literature, many of us come to the Bible with different expertise, different experiences with the Bible. Some of us have never read the Bible before, and that makes it actually rather difficult to answer some of the questions that we're going to be asking in this class. So your initial response may simply be, man, I don't understand this question. Can somebody explain it to me? Somebody in your group might be able to help you understand it. Your professor might step in and help you understand it. Once you figure out the question, then you're able to better answer the question. So don't feel free to just jump in and say, man, I don't get it, or here's my thoughts, or here's a passage from the Bible that I found really helpful, and dig in and have a great conversation. That's really going to help our course, and it's really going to help you benefit from this course. All right, so that's discussion questions. Let me know if you have any questions about that. I'll let you take a look at the course overview, but generally speaking, week 1 is about biblical narratives. Week 2 is about biblical poetry. Week 3 is about the Gospels. These are the stories about Jesus. Week 4 is about the epistles. Epistles is a fancy word for letters. And week 5 is about the visionary literature, both from the Old Testament and the New Testament. Let's take a look at the assignments that you're going to be doing in this course. So week 1, you have 4 different things that you need to do. All the discussion questions. Then you have a very small assignment, biblical website summaries. We'll look at that in more detail in a second. And then by the end of the week, you'll have turned in your interpretive essay number 1. And by the end of the week, on Sunday, you will have taken quiz 1. For every week after that, there are just 3 things that you do. Discussion questions, interpretive essay, week 2 quiz. Discussion questions, interpretive essay number 3, week 3 quiz. And again, week 4, discussion questions, interpretive essay number 4, week 4 quiz. Things change just a little bit in week 5. You do your discussion questions, but it's not another interpretive essay. It's a biblical themes essay that kind of brings everything together at the end of the course. There's another quiz at the end. All the quizzes are online in Moodle, of course. They're multiple choice. I ask that these are a closed book, so don't use your Bible, don't use the textbook, don't use websites or your friends or anything. Just you and the quiz, right? They're not the most difficult quizzes in the world, although some of them are challenging. So you're really going to need to do the reading for these quizzes. The readings are where most of the questions are drawn from. So make sure that you do your reading and then go ahead and take the quiz. Let's take a look at week 1, and that'll be the end of this video. So here are the objectives. I'll let you look over those. Here's the reading that's required. 4 chapters from the Carver textbook, and then quite a bit of reading from the New Oxford Annotated Bible. As the video about the Oxford Annotated Bible said, it has the Bible in it, but it also has modern essays and modern notes. So a lot of your reading is going to come from those modern essays. So you'll see that for the modern essays, we give you page numbers that you need to read through. Most of these are just introductory notes for many of the books of the Bible. Here's an essay that's towards the end of the Bible about the geography of the Bible. It's very helpful as you begin your study of the Bible. Beyond that, we're going to ask you to read specific parts of the Bible itself. So not these modern editions, but specific parts. So you're going to need to look for Genesis chapter 1 through chapter 11. Read those chapters. And then read Joshua chapter 1 through 7. These are specifically assigned for the discussion questions. So make sure you read these before you tackle the discussion questions. All right, so those are your readings. Here's some videos that are helpful. They're all on YouTube. They're pretty well done by a person from Western Seminary, which is actually just down the street from Warner Pacific College. So take a look at those videos. We ask that you introduce yourself. I've listed 4 or 5 things that I'd like you to talk about. So your name, what you're doing at Warner, so what your major is, what's your life like outside of college, what your experience of the Bible is, and then finally what you hope to learn from this course. I ask you to do a syllabus review, not just by watching this video, but by looking through it yourself and asking me any questions that you might have. And then here's a list of the assignments. So the 2 discussion questions, again, do the reading before you tackle these. For this discussion question, you're going to need to review Genesis 12 through 22, so a little bit more of Genesis there. Also, do the reading from the textbook as early in the week as you can. It'll really help you with your discussion questions. Here's the biblical website summaries. What we're looking for here is for you to identify 4 websites that contain helpful information about the Bible. It can really be about anything from the Bible, whether it's translations or maps or maybe commentary, maybe it's a blog about the Bible. But find 4 that you think are really helpful. Simply just Google Bible, right? Or go to Bing and type in Bible. And you're going to get millions and millions of hits. So pick 4. And then you're going to post a brief report about the websites that you found. You're going to tell us the positive things about the websites, the things you didn't like so much, and you're going to tell your classmates why you think these websites are useful. You should write a paragraph for each of the websites, maybe 50 words or so, so a decent paragraph, a nice full paragraph. And then you're going to review and respond to at least 3 of your students. So you're going to look at the websites that 3 other students posted, look at those websites, and then respond to their posts. I'm going to make a separate video talking about the interpretive essay, but for now, you're going to pick either chapters 1 through 14 of Exodus or the entire book of Esther and write an essay on it. So you can pick one or the other and write an essay. It's a 2 to 3 page essay. Note that in the Apocrypha of the Bible, there are additions to Esther. So it'll say Esther edition A, Esther edition B, Esther edition C. That is not the version of Esther that we want you to be reading for this assignment. So go to the table of contents, look for the book of Esther, 12 chapters, I believe. Read just that. Don't read all the additional material. Esther is one of those books that has many different editions, depending on which version of the Bible you're looking at. So we're looking for you to read the Protestant version of Esther, essentially. The Catholic version has other additions to it. The Ethiopian version has other additions to it. Those ones are interesting, but actually rather complicated. So not for this assignment. All right, well, I'm going to go through all the fine details of this assignment in a different video. Finally, by the end of the week, after you've done all your reading, after you've done all your assignments and everything, go ahead and tackle quiz 1. You should be well prepared to do that after you've done everything else in the week. So I recommend waiting until the end of the week to do the quiz. Of course, you can do it anytime during the week. Maybe you do it right after you finished your reading, whenever that is. But after you watch all the videos and discussion questions, I think you'll be really prepared to tackle the quiz for the end of the week. All right, well, that's our video introducing the syllabus and week 1. Let me know if you have any questions. Always, if you have specific questions, email me at jjacobs@warnerpacific.edu instead of posting those questions to the forums. If you have a specific question about a forum question, post it in the forum. But if you have a question, say, about an assignment or about the syllabus, shoot me an email. It's the most direct way to get a quick answer from me. All right, thanks.